On the night of May the 10th, the world held its breath as a storm unfolded, not of clouds and thunder, but of code, drones and missiles. Pakistan, in a swift and unrelenting offensive, launched one of the most daring hybrid attacks in modern military history, operation that would go on to be known as the bunyan-un-marsoos. At precisely 12:17 a.m. IST, Indian cities went dark. Lights blinked off across vast regions as the electrical heartbeat of a nation was severed. This was no glitch, no natural failure, and it was a cyber strike. Pakistan's cyber warfare division had executed a breach into India's power grid, cutting down an estimated 70% of the national electricity supply. Metros halted, hospital systems failed, airports were thrown into chaos. The silence of powerlessness was broken only by the distant hum of emergency generators and panic. But this was just the beginning. In the same hour, one of India's top media outlets, the India Today news website, was hacked and defaced. Its homepage was replaced with a taunting message. A digital flag planted on India's information front. Critical communications were disrupted. The Indian public, now in darkness, was also left in an information vacuum. As chaos spread across civilian infrastructure, Pakistan's cyber units turned their eyes to India's defense systems. Military radar networks began to go dark, jammed with precision. Indian air defense, partially blinded, struggled to detect what came next. At 2:40 a.m., low-flying drones breached Indian airspace. Their targets were strategic: communication hubs, fuel depots, radar installations around the capital, Delhi. Explosions lit up the skyline. The capital, a city of 30 million, found itself under a covert aerial assault. Fires burned where there had once been silence. But the final blow of that night was yet to come. At dawn, squadrons of Pakistan's JF-17 Thunderfighter jets took flight under electronic silence, cloaked from India's early warning systems, their mission to locate and destroy the crown jewel of Indian air defense. The Russian-built S-400 missile system deployed near the Western Front. What followed was surgical and devastating. Using newly integrated targeting pods and standoff munitions, the JF-17S released a barrage of precision-guided munitions. The S-400, prized for its unmatched range and tracking abilities, was overwhelmed. Not by brute force, but by superior coordination and timing. Radar towers collapsed in a blaze. The command truck went silent. India's strategic shield, its deterrent, had been neutralized before it could even respond. India was caught off guard. This wasn't just an act of war, it was a statement. A new kind of battlefield had emerged, where keyboards preceded missiles, where silence was deadlier than sound. And yet, even as the smoke cleared, one truth remained. This was only the beginning. The world looked on breathless as two nuclear powers edged toward open war, triggered not by tanks crossing borders, but by codes cracking firewalls. Diplomats scrambled, stock markets trembled, satellites tracked every move over the subcontinent. May 10th was no ordinary date. It marked the beginning of a new era in modern conflict, where power isn't just measured in warheads and tanks, but in megawatts and bandwidth. History will remember it as the night the lights went out, and a new war was born.